Hey guys. Okay, so let's have a little conversation around AI and our artistic disciplines. So there's this larger conversation that we're having around AI, right? And it's really come out of what's happening with the WGA and the strikes that are happening right now, the writer strikes. And potentially what people are saying, the rumors, I guess, as you will, is that because of the writers that are striking, and I'd like to point out that according to NPR, for anybody who doesn't know what's going on with the Writers Guild and the strike, which began on May 2nd, that according to NPR.org, that after contract negotiations with the Alliance of Motion Pictures and Television Producers broke down, writers are demanding higher wages and more residuals, especially when their work repeats on streaming services. So these are really about, and this happens every time, like there's like a new medium, right? It happened when there was like the move from like in the music industry from like CDs and tapes to then like what came out of like the creation of the iPod, which was I know I'm dating myself, which was like this audio, like this online kind of upload of music, right? And it, came out of Napster and all of that. But the idea is that the writers are really fighting for their rights, right, of these streaming services who are continuously, we're in an age where we're like streaming things and we're like, kind of delving into like just acquiring and like, just really watching these things like on an obsessive level, right? These TV shows. And we'll sit and like watch the whole season in one sitting. I mean, if you can do that. And so, of course, like, what's right is that the writers should be compensated for that. But they are not currently being compensated or not compensated enough for the work that they create. So, jump to this conversation on AI. So the conversation really began because of the strike, right? And so, like, potentially these studios and the people that are left, because everybody stopped. So potentially what they want to do is like kind of feed into AI so that they can create scripts. I am here to tell you that it's not there yet. So originally my thought process was, on an ethical basis, I don't think if you're earning billions and billions and billions of dollars on these productions that you should not be paying your writers an ethical wage, considering that we have a new medium of streaming services that kind of really flourished in during the pandemic, right? And so now that we are, as a collective nation, right, or the world, we're sitting down and we're watching Queen Charlotte, from beginning to end, the writers need to, and obviously that is a writer-led production, so it might be different, but in general, like, I think if you're a production company, if you're a studio that isn't like really supporting their writers, then you're just in the wrong, right? And that's why we have unions. Now, moving on to as a creative artist, I do think like as a creative artist, it's really helpful, especially if you're exploring new mediums, if you're just exploring, if you're moving into new areas that you don't have the experience in. For instance, jump to like my current project. I'm doing an audio drama project, and right now I wrote the screenplay, and I was hoping to jumpstart that into kind of, I thought it would be an easier process to write the screenplay out and then kind of format it into an audio drama. And this all happened and around these conversations when these conversations around AI started. And so right now I'm thinking, it's a great idea to like kind of just feed it into the AI and kind of get, formatted with the soundscape and everything already formatted into it, right? Like, it's great. Like, it's not a big deal. I'm here to say, I don't have much time, but I'm here to say, like, I don't think it's there yet. I am going to continue to kind of play around with it. Originally, I thought it was like a great idea, right? Just jumping back and kind of reiterating what I already said. I tried it today. I used Jasper and ChatGPT. ChatGPT seems to be like the better option of both, but it's not quite there yet. I don't think that it is useful for what I was working on. Potentially it could be, but it seems that the AI doesn't seem to recognize it, or it lags. Last night I kind of fed it the whole screenplay and it just like went haywire, and it just like kind of was like, too much information. And then today I woke up and I fed it like scene by scene. Jasper didn't even understand, right? Like it just continued to create a story. I gave it one scene and it just continued to create the story, and I was like, that was not what I was asking. And it could potentially be because of the prompts that I was giving it. So I tried a few different prompts. I realized that it just wasn't going to work with Jasper AI. And so I kind of shut down the account, and then I went back to ChatGPT. The ChatGPT actually gave me, when the first scene, it gave me the soundscape and kind of the audio drama format. But then when it went to do like scene 2, it just kind of lost its fuel, I guess. All that to say, I just don't think it's quite there yet, and I think you're just gonna have to endure like a lot more frustration doing it than just like, you know what, like I think I just need to do this on my own. So those are my thoughts. Potentially it could be that I didn't give the proper prompts. I did try a few different prompts. But I think my directions are pretty clear. I just don't think in terms of even formatting it's there yet, right? Like with screenplays, and whatnot. I do know that I'm going to put the resource down below. I do know that there's a how-to on Stage 32. And finally, for those of you that are writers, I do know that there's an article on stage32.com. Many of you will know what that is, on how to use AI to turn your screenplay into a podcast, if that's what you want to do. I read it last night. It was interesting. It didn't really give you like which one they used. So it wasn't helpful in that sense, and everything else was kind of, it was a great article. So, those are my thoughts. I just don't think it's quite there yet. Comment below. We'll see. Because I'm going to have to do my work the old-fashioned way. Oh, well.